we can't assume anymore. We can't assume that the USA is going to take it anymore. And I'm a little, I guess, nervous. We'll see. I'm a little nervous. Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
For the women?
I'm a little nervous for the women and the men.
I ain't worried for the women. The men.
Okay. Why? Can you win by more points? Can you not win by 1 point?
They won. Hey, look,
in the gold medal game.
Let me tell you something, Sharí.
The men have won gold since losing in 2004 to 2008. They have lost some games in group play.
They have.
Right.
They've won overall, but they have taken some L's. I am old enough to remember when Spain was bringing the business. Okay, so when Pau Gasol was like, "Hold up, we ain't friends right now," you know what I'm saying? So I remember them taking some L's. The women have never taken an L, and that also becomes very scary because at some point your luck gotta run out, and you really hate for that to happen in this game, in this place, with the team having home court, home field advantage, and it being against players who not only can ball, but have chosen not to because they specifically wanted to prepare to beat you. Gabby Williams could be in the WNBA. Chose not to. Maureen Johanna's still on the roster for the Liberty, but chose not to. You know, Ileana Rupert could still ball in the W, but chose not to, just so they can. So the stakes felt very different in this matchup than any other matchup. It felt like there was a purpose to wanting to take you down, and they were very much on the path to doing so. And that's what had me tripping in this game.
Ooh, well, Terrika said a mouthful. I was pissed pretty much 90% of the game. The missed layups alone. I thought I was going to have to go to urgent care because I know my blood pressure was through the roof. You know, Terrika mentioned she woke up at 9 a.m. I'm on the West Coast, so I woke up at about 7. I didn't even get my time with the Lord in like I should have gotten because I'm rolling over to see this game.
You needed that.
Father, forgive me. Okay, forgive me. And to watch the turnovers, the guard play for me was just so subpar. I was like you though, Terrika. Like, what happened? Did you guys go out last night? Right. What did you do? Because there was a lack of focus, and that for me was huge. I mean, Sabrina Ionescu coming in and putting in the minutes in the second half that she did, and Kalia Copper obviously stepping up as she did. They were the difference maker, and Kalia more than anybody.
And Kelsey Plum too. Don't forget her.
Kelsey Plum in the second half, because in that first half she was weird, and she was also getting on my nerves. Pretty much the entire Las Vegas Aces roster that was on the Olympic roster was getting on my nerves most of the game. Asia was trying; they were beating her up.
But in
beating her up. So I have to give it to her too. Some of the missed layups and things like that, she was just straight up getting hacked. So she had to earn every basket she got. She had to earn it. So I have to give it up to her for pushing through and really showing why she's the best player in the world. Because a lot of players wouldn't necessarily get on the other side of that in the way that she did statistically. So shout out to her. But the guard play was so disturbing to me. And I recall even watching the game and listening to the announcers and the commentary. And LaChina Robinson was talking about, you know, why BG was not in the game in the second half. And she's like, she's got to be set up properly. And the guard play is too sloppy right now to even have her in the game. It wouldn't make any sense. So hearing those things, you know, Stewie's struggling most of the game, can't get a shot to fall. So I think, yes, there are games when you're off. You know, obviously, like Terrika said, the stakes were high. You're in France, this home court advantage. The men barely, you know, they could have been gold medalists the night before. So you had that as a buildup as well, which was great for the sports world in general. But I would have obviously liked, you know, Team USA to go out in a more dominant way on the women's side. I was very surprised. The men's side, again, didn't necessarily surprise me as much. The women, I just like, okay, we're going to win by at least 15. You know, we might drop a dub on them, but they're at home, so they're going to have some energy. But to see that game go like that, I was just sitting there like, to Terrika's point, is the luck going to run out today? Because if it does, the ripple effect from that, I think could also impact the W. And then we go right back to those same conversations about why wasn't such and such on the team? And they could have been on the team. And they would have been, and they would have been on the team and would have did that. And so I even found myself talking to some of my friends like, guys, it's 12 spots. That's number one. And the people you're talking about, I'm not even going to name them because I don't feel like drama today. But who are they going to play? Who in place of? Or do you want them to come and sit on the bench? Because that's what they're going to do. So I'm also glad they won because all of that extra talk, I don't have to hear for the next week and a half. So that's just me selfishly saying, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. But it also says, hey, there is a changing of the guard that is happening on the world stage when it comes to the game of basketball on the men's and women's side. And so we obviously take pride here in the United States with the NBA and the WNBA, but understand everybody's getting better. And there's no more the differentiation between what's happening across the world and what's happening in the United States. The window is very small. It's tightening to the point where we can't even differentiate anymore. I'm excited for the game in that respect, but also we can't assume anymore. We can't assume that the USA is going to take it anymore. And I'm a little, I guess, nervous. We'll see. I'm a little nervous. Yeah, I'm a little nervous
for the women.
I'm a little nervous for the women and the men.
I ain't worried for the women. The men.
Okay. Why? Can you win by more points? Can you not win by 1 point?
They won. Hey, look,
in the gold medal game.
Let me tell you something, Sharí.
It's a different. We won, but the differentiation, Chris.
I don't give a shit if they won by half an inch. I don't give a shit if they won by half a point. They brought home the fucking gold medal.
I do. It does matter.
Basketball team.
It does matter.
It does not matter. You bring home gold, and that is the only acceptable thing.
Because you got to show. I love arguing with Chris. This is so fun. I've never done this before. Let's keep going. You got to show that you're the dominant force. We were not dominant. We did not show that.
Look at all their other games. Look at all their other games, okay? They won by 50. Their average margin of victory was, I think, like 15, 16 points, right?
That is correct.
Up until this game. So please, spare me.
No, I hear you. I hear you. But you got to, I just, 1 point is a fool.
Can I be the middle person?
Yes.
Okay, here's the middle.
Be the mediator. This is so fun, Chris. Thank you for doing that. I love a good argument here and there. A little spice.
Here's middle ground. Middle ground, to Sharí's point, is that prior to this year, USA women probably averaged 20, I think it was 20 to 30 point differential in their wins. These were not close. This year, the point differential was more 15, 16-ish. So yes, in terms of the expectation of there being a larger margin than 1 point, absolutely. I do absolutely understand the concern that the rest of the world is getting better, right? To Chris's point, how fucking spoiled are we? That we
you better win by a lot.
About winning by 1 or winning by 40. Like, we won the damn gold medal. Like, that was what we were supposed to do. And we are a spoiled nation that we are angry.
I'm mad.
We lost.
I'm mad
that we allowed a team to be that close.
Yes, I didn't like it. It didn't feel good to me.
I just now, yes, I do believe had we played better to start the game, had we made majority of those layups, Kelsey Plum was the only one out there shooting threes and hitting them.
Right.
Correct.
Jackie Young fouled out. So, yes, had we played better, I'm quite sure that the margin of winning point-wise, the point differential would have been a bit further. But for us to still be able to pull out the W after playing so uncharacteristically inferior to start the game,
that does say a lot. It
further
absolutely
lets me know that the WNBA truly has the best players in the world. But let's put the world on notice, okay? Because I think about a team like Nigeria that don't have a single WNBA player on it. Can you imagine what would happen if an Arike Ogunbowale decided that she wanted to play for Team Nigeria? If maybe Michaela Onyenwere decided she wanted to show up? If maybe for the sake of argument, Nneka Ogwumike said, you know what, I know I'm 36, but guess what? Fuck it, why not, right?
Yeah.
Like, we really do have to be mindful of where we are and how everyone else is starting to provide that parity.
Yeah.
So the mistakes in the margin of error for having those types of games are going to get smaller and smaller. So I do understand where Sharí is frustrated, because we do watch that game thinking, oh, we're going to win this by like 20, not even tripping. But I also know, to Chris's point, that because the world is getting better, we got to take them wins when we get them. And it don't matter how we get them, as long as we get them. And that's just kind of where I am. See, we can all wear our get along
I
shirts.
do like that, and we all have our get along hats.
Yeah, we do.
Everybody wore a hat
Okay.
today. We didn't even
got
talk about it
WNBA,
earlier.
We got Detroit. We got
Yes,
what is that? Black women.
You know
Cool ass black woman.
Yes,
that's
we
black
are all
woman.
aligned.
Right,
Everybody,
legit.
no one fear. We are all aligned in perfect harmony.
We are.
Trust
we are
me.
all aligned.